This is the read and react offense. What this is it's not so much a set pattern play as it is a set of rules to follow on offense, which is going to help our players keep good spacing out on the floor and five-player continuity at all times while sending players to the basket in good scoring position. So the first rule is you fill the spots. This is a 5-out set I'm showing here. You could also do this with 4 out and 1 in, or 3 out and 2 in, but just for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to show it with 5 out. So first thing we do is we fill the spots. Here we are. We've got all the spots occupied. Second rule is after you pass, you must make a basket cut. And each time you make a basket cut, it's important you cut all the way to the basket before you go to fill out. So there, one's passed, so she is cutting to the basket. Okay, and notice when she cut, the other players fill the spot. So 5 had to come from her wing position up and fill the point spot. 3 came from the corner and filled the wing spot. When you're filling out the spots, it's important. We always need to make sure we have someone at the spots that are 1 pass away. So where 2 is and 5 is, we always need a person there. And you always want to fill any spot that's open above you. That's why 3 came from the corner up to the wing. Okay, so now that we've got a player in the lane, one made that basket cut, we've actually got 2 decision makers now. We started with just 1 decision maker. Whoever has the ball, they're the decision maker. Everybody else is reading and reacting. When you're in the lane, though, you're also a decision maker, because now one has to decide, do I now post up at one of these post spots, which are marked in the yellow, or do I exit the lane and fill out? Do I back screen my way out of this? Do I come up here, set a screen for 5, and she cuts? Simplest thing to do, what most players will do, is simply fill out, exit the lane, fill out an open spot. So that's what ones do. So I'm just going to show it now. Here's some players passing and cutting. Each time you pass, you must basket cut. When you exit the lane, you got to fill out. Okay, so that's rule 2, pass, immediately basket cut. Third rule is if the ball carrier decides to dribble at you, you must basket cut. At this point, most of what we're doing at our 7th grade level is in the first 3 layers of Rick Torbett's Read and React DVD set. There's actually 20 layers to this offense, and late in those higher level layers they may do some ball screen action, but for the level we're at, each time the ball carrier dribbles at you, you must basket cut. So we're going to show that here. Oh, I'm just moving it forward to where we're going to do our dribble at action. Okay, here we are. So 4's got it. She dribbles at 5. 5 has to basket cut. Now she dribbles at 3. 3 has to basket cut. And so forth. Whenever the ball carrier dribbles at you, you must basket cut. Okay. Other rule. This is very, very important. I'm going to add some defense now for you to see this. If you're 1 pass away, so we got the ball at the point now, number 4. So 2 and 3, they're 1 pass away. If your defender steps in the read line, so right here, number 2, she's now stepped in the read line. By the read line, we're talking about the imaginary line between the ball and you when you're 1 pass away. If your defender does that, you must immediately basket cut. Okay, that's very important, because when your defender, just back it up there, when the defender decides to do this, if we don't make that basket cut, this player has essentially cut off our entire right side of the floor. We can't, she shut down our offense on that entire side of the floor, which really limits us. But also by her doing that, you know, our number two, she's facing the hoop. Their number two guarding her. She's not. It's essentially a foot race between these two players to the rim. Given our player is already facing the hoop to begin with, we got a very good chance of winning that foot race, getting to the hoop first, and getting a pass into her for a score. So if players want to step into the read lane on us, that's actually good for us because it gives us a chance to beat them to the hoop and score. If two defends it well, it also makes other players on the floor move. When we send two to the hoop, our player in the corner is now rotating up, filling a newly open spot, which is much greater likelihood we're gonna get a player open at that spot to get, if 4 is in a jam at the point here. She's got a better chance of getting out of that jam if we send a player to the hoop to possibly get her open inside, but she's also going to vacate a spot, which a new player is going to be moving to fill. Okay. So what happens if they step in the read line on both wings? We still follow the rule. There's no reason why both these players can't basket cut. They're in the read line, they'll both basket cut. Okay, which is going to cause everybody on the floor to move, which it's very hard as a defense to play a team that's got everybody moving. And it's also going to make them probably collapse around the lane a little more to protect it, because we got two players going into the hoop. They're going to need to, or we're going to pass it in there and score. So again, we send both to the hoop, and we got our corners coming up, filling a newly open spot. Much better chance we're going to get out of the jam at the point and get a player open on the perimeter at those wing spots, and then we simply fill out. So that's an important rule. When you're one pass away and she steps in the read line, immediately basket cut. Okay. Also, when you do make your basket cut, again, you're a decision maker in the lane now. 4 is also a decision maker now, as well as 2 who has the ball. Because she can decide, simplest thing, she can decide to exit and go fill out this open spot over here. But she also may decide to go post up in a spot, okay, or set a back screen, okay. And rule in this offense is, if you want to, when you exit the lane, if you see an opportunity, like maybe you're a small player exiting the lane, you see we got our number 5 up at the point, and we want to send her to the basket, maybe cause the defenders to switch and force our opponent to put a small defender on her. Instead of exiting the lane and just filling out in the perimeter, go set a back screen for that player at the point. If you do that, she's got a basket cut and you fill her spot. So let's just see what this looks like here. 4 passes and cuts. Okay, 5's just rotated to fill the point. 4 sees 5's come to the point. She's going to back screen for her. Okay, and we get her on the back cut for a score. Alright, so that's the read and react offense. Very simple set of rules. Fill the spots. After you pass, you must basket cut. If she dribbles at you, you must basket cut. When you're one pass away and the defender steps in the read line, you basket cut. Always fill out the spots. One pass away from the ball need to be filled out first. If any spot above you comes open, you need to move to fill it out. That is pretty much the read and react offense. I'm just going to play it from the beginning so you can watch the different options. Okay, here's pass and cut. Here's dribble at coming up. There we go. We're looking at dribble at. Notice each time they always make their basket cut all the way to the hoop before their next action. We also want the ball carrier to look at this cut. Okay. Here's the read line. She steps in the read line. You basket cut. Okay, here's when both wings stepped in the read line. Okay. Here's the back screen out instead of filling out. And that's the read and react offense.